Dean is the co-founder and CEO of Being Verse, a change leadership development and transformational change consulting firm. For 30 years, Dean has specialized in large-scale transformation, running hundreds of change interventions in all types of industries. Jim Kouzes, the preeminent author on leadership, calls Dean the leading authority on change leadership and organization transformation. Daryl Connor calls Dean a master of transformational craft. We are honored and privileged to have Dean join us this afternoon to speak about conscious change leadership. Please, everybody, welcome Dean Anderson.
Thank you. Thanks, Maria. Thank you, thank you. Greetings, everybody. How are you? Good? Yeah. I'm meeting some clients that are here that I didn't know were coming, so that's kind of fun. And I don't know all of you, obviously, and just a few familiar faces from many years ago. But one thing I bet I do know that we have in common, and I want you to respond to this. We're passionate about change, yes? Yes. Yes. We're passionate about change that impacts our organizational results, yes? Yes. And mostly, I bet you're passionate about change that impacts people, yes? Yes. All right. Now, in any type of change, there are three distinct areas that we need to focus on. Certainly, we've got to focus on content. Content is the tangible aspects of the organization that are changing. So in IT implementation, the content is the CRM system or the ERP system, whatever it is. In a restructuring, the content is, of course, organizational structure, roles, decision-making. Re-engineering business processes, the content or the business processes. The other leg of the stool, of course, is people. That's where we focus in change management. People includes everything. Getting buy-in, motivation, dealing with resistance, communication plans, engagement plans, dealing with politics. That's all in the leg called people. The third critical piece that we tend to neglect is process. Process is what integrates the content and people changes together. Now, historically what's happened is that we've separated those things. We put those really smart IT people and they go design the content, while the change management folks are trying to deal with the people. That works fine in two of the types of change. It doesn't work in transformation very well. Now, when we get to transformation, this is a different beast. Transformation is when the content change is so radical to what the current paradigm is that we don't actually know our destination when we need to start. So we have to start the process, and through the process figure out the specifics about our destination. For example, think of Kodak, right? Their business, consumable, film, 35 millimeter, and all of a sudden we go to the digital world. Did they just figure out how they're going to make money in the digital world? No. They tested things, and they're still testing things, and the jury's out on their success, by the way. In transformation, because the dynamics are deeper, there's a whole nother perspective that's occurring, that we've got to get underneath behavior. We cannot manage behavior in transformation. What we actually want to manage is mindset and emotion. Remember, John this morning talked about thinking and feeling. See, behavior changes naturally when you shift your mindset and how you feel. If we just manage behavior and transformation, then what we usually get is compliance. But we don't actually get full commitment. So people go along in a level of the veneer, superficially, but they haven't really bought in with their heart and soul. Right? So the people dynamic is different. So in transformation, all of a sudden, we're no longer just looking at behavior. Behavior is simply the signpost to deeper issues that people are feeling. Now we can map those different issues. They're called core needs. There are basically 6 of them. I'm not going to talk about them, but I'll name them. There's security. People want to know if they're going to have a job. There's inclusion. Are they going to be on the team, the new team in the new world? There's power issues, right? Are we going to have power, more power through this transformation or less? There's control issues. Is this going to spin out of control? Because remember, people are moving into a place where they don't know the destination, and you're asking them to come with you. So they're worried about these things. They're also worried about competency. I'm competent in the old world, will I be competent in the new? And finally, they worry about justice. They worry about fairness. Okay, now, if you're designing a transformation, by definition, you now know the deeper issues that are going to arise. When you see a resistance, you can always track it to one of those 6 core needs. Always. Now you can begin to think, wow, I'm asking people to go into this whole new space where they got to have a whole new skill set to be successful. I better make sure I announce the training plan and how we're going to coach them to success early in the change process. Otherwise, that competency need will surface as resistance. And if you do the good work early, that resistance won't show at the same level. Conscious change leadership is about consciously designing the change process. Now remember, it's going to emerge. So you need a navigation system that will give you some sense of intelligence of what the general flow is going to be and how you will course correct in real time. You'll use your project management people to do 90, 120-day rolling plans, but not try to plan it out for the 9 months of the effort. Because in month 4, it's going to look very different than month 1. So you consciously design the change process. All right. Now, you do that so that you engage the whole organization, stakeholders and leaders, early in the process, right up front. Why? Because this is a journey where you need the whole system looking for the early signs to course correct. And because in this space of transformation, the key thing is you're trying to co-create a breakthrough result. And I'm going to talk about this in detail in just a minute. In other words, something extraordinary. In transformation, you're not just trying to land a new structure or land a new business process. You are trying to unleash human potential in the organization to co-create something that's outrageously great. So now you're designing a change process that engages the whole organization to unleash that human potential as they work together in new co-creative ways in pursuit of that breakthrough result. Now that's a different mindset than simply applying our profession to try to install an end state we can figure out in advance. Right? All right. Now contrast that idea with this. So what we have here is we've got a big plan. It says old state on the left, new state on the right. There's a couple boxes that says change plan, and the manager is saying, geez, great work, but we need a little more detail right here. And where's the right here? Where it says miracle occurs. Right? In transformation, if we succeed, it's often like a miracle. But what is a miracle? A miracle is divine intervention. How many of you have been on transformational efforts where you were on your knees praying for divine intervention? All right? I've been there. Right? The other way to think about a miracle is something we don't understand. Fire used to be a miracle. Then we figured out heat, combustion, fuel, airflow. Now we can replicate fire. A miracle is something we don't understand. Well, the miracle of conscious change leadership is getting underneath our understanding of people and process. To understand on the people side what's underneath behavior. What's the role of mindset? How about core beliefs and values? What does consciousness have to do with performance and human interaction? And how do we awaken that? And how do we unleash the human potential? And of course, the magic around process is all emergent, nonlinear dynamics. The other side of breakthrough performance is for me to become really good at something, I got to manage my own inner fears. I got to manage my doubts and anxieties. And nothing you can do as a change manager can change my state of mind if I don't choose to do it myself. Did you write that down? Because that is so friggin' important for this profession. If we want breakthrough and transformation, we have to go deeper than simply looking at behavior. How many of you know of the flow or the zone from a performance perspective? Let me see hands. All right, the flow or the zone, that's that inner state where all of a sudden things get slow motion, time goes away, you're fluid, you're all of a sudden expressing your potential in a way you never have, no matter what you've ever done. How many of you had that kind of flow state experience? All right. Do you know you can teach that? You can teach people how to achieve that. And instead of going at 30, 50, 70% of their capability, all of a sudden they're performing consistently at 80, 90, 95. Instead of resisting change, they understand that, hey, the resistance always starts in me, and I can look inside and I can adjust in here because I've learned how to do this, and I can now present more integrated self that's going to commit. You can teach people how to do the flow. The key ingredient here is transformation can only be, again, from our perspective, co-created. It cannot be commanded. At least transformational success in the way we conceive it. Because what we're after is unleashing the human potential through the change, not just installing the new content. So I can't command you to perform better. I can't command you to shift your mindset in the way you feel. But I can be with you in a way that together we can get more authentic about the human element and go deeper into the conversation about what's going on for us in a way that we can help each other resolve limitations of our thinking and expressing so that we can perform better. Now, what this model is showing is co-creating is all about focusing on the big win. The big win is the larger system winning. Now contrast this to win-lose. See, win-lose is a dynamic that comes out of the ego. Co-creating and optimal performance, full expression that I've been talking about, comes out of one's being, one's higher self. I'm interested in stellar performance. And so what I want to do is I want to move people beyond the ego into their own being, and this is where co-creating happens. When I'm operating from that place in myself, where I feel complete in myself, I've addressed my inner fears and anxieties. Now I care about you. And I care about what's bigger than me. That's what breakthrough results does. President Kennedy said, we're going to the moon. That's bigger than all of us. All of a sudden we align to that. And our petty differences across individual relationships and teams went away. And people started to naturally share information at NASA. They started to collaborate on problems. They shared resources. Right? They helped each other out. That was a natural outcome of having that aspiration, because the aspiration pulled them into their higher self. So the key for me is, in co-creating, is that what we're after in transformation requires this. How do we get there if we're not helping people understand their inner dynamics? We can't. We're simply relegated to applying our tools, trying to help modify their behavior. And in the end, we're going to get behavior change, but it's going to be self-generated by a critical mass of the people in the organization who are now living out of this place of mastery, and the collaboration and co-creation is a natural expression of their behavior.